Hi, and welcome to this season's informal finale about unlearning, to my Lunch Unlearn series. And today we will take a meta approach to unlearning because I've named this session today, as you can see on the screen, Unlearning Bad Habits When Running Livestream Sessions. And before we start into going into the details, I would love just to say a few practicalities. If you are listening in or tuning in afterwards for the recording, make sure to put your audio on, and you can always add comments as well, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. So with that, let's get into the details of today. And beyond the practicalities, any comments, any ideas, I would love to pick up on what you are getting out of this session. Maybe you haven't run your first live stream sessions yet, but you're planning to do it. Or maybe you are attending a lot of live stream sessions and you find yourself frustrated with some of the performances. And no matter what, this type of recording, this type of presentation tool will be more commonly used in the future. So it's good to be observant and maybe learn from other people who are in that process already. So a warm welcome to you. As I normally do, I tend to just set the scene for this topic about unlearning. Unlearning is not about forgetting things. It's about consciously choosing an alternative mental model to help reduce or minimize bad habits. So that's what it's all about. And today's topic is certainly a very interesting one. Why this is important is because we are expected to be agile, we're expected to be able to adjust and take on new opportunities quickly, to be agile in terms of new responsibilities, new job content, and new situations, because the pace is so, it's a very high speed. So today, I would love to focus on a few things that has to do with unlearning the bad habits of running sessions like this, because I've run 7 live stream sessions so far, and I have learned a lot during that period. And still there's more to learn. So hopefully this meta perspective could be of help to you as well. And feel free to add any comments or questions you might have in the chat box, and I will pick them up and try to answer them as we go along. It's also important to understand that the notion of unlearning is, doesn't really matter if you are looking for a new job, if you're looking to start your own business, or if you just want to do a better job where you are. We all need to unlearn. We all need to make sure that we can respond and be agile in the future of work. So with that, it doesn't really matter which scenario is relevant to you. This should be relevant to you no matter what your situation is. What about this topic of today? Bad habits when running live stream events. What comes to mind? Well, in order to crack the code of today's topic, I have been focusing on understanding the facts. So what really happened when I'm looking back on the events that I've been running the last couple of months? Well, first of all, there are certainly things that are rookie mistakes. For instance, I forgot to turn off some devices, so there was some additional noise in the background. I had a sneeze in one of the live stream sessions, and of course, that's just how things go. But you need to be able to handle that and make sure that you are not distracted by that. I also had another incident that was really interesting, and I didn't expect that coming up because I've been investing in some add-on lighting in my home studio. And what happened was that I needed to fix the lighting. And to me, I wanted to do this myself. I was proud of actually kicking this off myself, but I understood, okay, I need some help here. So in order to crack the code, not only understanding what has been going on, but also actively work to change the perspective. And in this case, in my case, I needed to involve somebody else in getting some help. And I'm not sure if you have seen this in the past, but I had a live stream Lunch Unlearn session about procrastination. And during that, and that was the only session until then, the lightning turned really bad and I looked like a ghost. And I kind of saw it during the live stream, but I couldn't fix it when I was on air. So I was curious to learn what happened and how I could fix it. And then I learned something that was really helpful. So sometimes you just need some creativity to fix things pretty quickly. And what happened was that I learned that you can also change the angle of your extra lighting, and you can also make it softer. So this is what I've been doing recently. I've been actually adding some, with Scotch, adding some paper to soften the light, and I've changed the angle as well. And hopefully today will prove that this works better. So I had to ask for help, and I got help. And I realized that these technical things and these distractional points were just some of the few less annoyable things that appeared on my live stream so far. There was one thing that really annoyed me a lot. And that brings me to the third one. And I'll give an example shortly about something that I really need to practice in order to get rid of that bad habit. I need to change my behavior. And what could that be? I'm sure you've heard of the notion of filler words. Words that you use in order to gain some time to reflect about what you want to say next. And you say them, they don't fill any function, but they just come out, maybe unconsciously, before you start making progress in your presentation. So it's about filling that gap. And especially in my situation where I don't have a manuscript, I normally work out of bullets. So when I need to fill that space, I have a tendency to using filler words. And I know I'm not alone in that space. I can recognize that in many other people as well. So there's something psychological to this. There's something about allowing maybe some silence while you think about how to bring across, how to communicate that next topic of yours. Allowing some silence to gather your thoughts. I don't think I will ever use a manuscript, but I want to reduce the number of filler words. So what is this about? Let's have a look here. These are typical examples of filler words. Right, okay, well, so, like, And especially for me, when I'm not presenting in my native language, I tend to rely on them to gain some time and to find that better starting of my next sentence. As you can see, I have bolded two of the words here. These were the two words that I tended to use in the past. In the past, before I ran live streams, when I ran webinars a lot, I could always edit them out. And if I had a tendency to have a lot of them in my webinars, I spent some time in editing that out. I didn't really feel I had to remove them. When I run live streams, like today, there's no way of editing it out because this is live. It's going on to my LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube platforms instantly after this session. I had a look back on my recordings and I was curious to see, was I successful in eliminating and to my surprise, I was quite good at eliminating those two words, only to realize that I replaced them with something else. In my case, I replaced them with the word so. I just heard a couple of minutes ago that I used the word so again to fill in between different types of sentences that I wanted to communicate to you today. So, no, just kidding. This means that it takes some time to consciously make this go away. It's not done overnight. In my case, I thought I got rid of it, but it just showed up in a different shape. I've been reading some materials about how to get rid of this, and this is why my intention is to unlearn myself. I want to unlearn this bad habit. My ambition is that my next live stream will have not any filler words at all. You may wonder, how can we go about this to make this happen? Well, there are 3 simple steps that you can take yourself and that I will follow myself over the next weeks and months. And I can share them here with you. First of all, it's really important to record yourself like I did in the live stream. I didn't catch this unless I had viewed the recordings afterwards. Typically, they serve as a bridge in our mind, in the way we pull out what we want to say and try to remember certain things that are important to convey, which means they are supporting us in gaining that time, which is why we need to be really conscious about how to identify them and how to get rid of them. What about changing that? What about replacing it? The only thing you need to make sure of is that you are really conscious about this and you are determined to make this go away. And in my case, I was determined to get rid of the ums, which I, so to speak, managed, but only to replace it with a so. And right now I need to focus on the so. And I need to add a dimension to that. I also need to make sure that I practice and practice and practice in order to remove that and not replace it with something else. And you may ask, how do we do that? Well, we do it by practicing in real life. We do it in our conversations. Every time you hear yourself use that filler word, stop, rephrase, say it out loud, what you intended to say, what you wanted to say instead. And by doing so over time, you will gradually then, hopefully, remove that bad habit and maybe also realize some more about the silence in your communication and in your messaging. Personally, I find this more challenging in live streams because there's nobody else talking to me right now. In the future, I will have some guests attending, and then I will be able to hopefully then gain the time I need to ask good questions and to create great content by adding in another person and another voice and another perspective as well. And that probably will help me in getting rid of those last filler words. I always try to provide a challenge for those either attending live or picking this up later. And in this case, maybe you haven't run a live stream session yourself yet, but you might have been recording yourself on video or on audio. Pay attention to if you have any bad habits and if you have any bad filler words. Which one are they? Can you identify them? And then who can help you unlearn that? Do you want to involve somebody else? Do you want to tell people that you would like them to give you feedback, as you normally don't always hear yourself using these filler words before you tap into the recording? Try to look into that challenge. And as we are moving along in the new job market, in the new area of business, into the future, this type of events, this type of communication will be so much more common for many of us. This is a great skill to enhance. So that's my challenge to you. Look into that and see whether you need to or want to change something in your own live stream performance. I'm checking here for any questions or comments. I can't see anything in my stream so far, but feel free to add something if something comes to mind after this, and I will respond back to you. Typically, I would now introduce the next topic for next week. However, as this is the informal season finale, I will not have a live stream event next week. Instead, I will resume with my clients and the people I work with to come up with more topics, and I would love to have your ideas and suggestions for more topics in the unlearning space. I'm going to include a comment here that just showed up. And it's Magdalena here who's saying, ha ha ha, I have replaced the with now as in next up. And she will work on that. So good luck to you, Magdalena. And I think we're pretty smart. We making things easy to ourselves unless we are really conscious about it. So again, I hear it. Ask somebody around you to give you feedback, to let you know if this is something you're defaulting back to, and you will be better off. This means I will be back in a few weeks with new and fresh topics in this area. I hope to gather some more ideas, both from my clients and also from other people. If you're interested in this topic, feel free to take part of the series one that is already available on my leaderindemand.com website /unlearning. They will find all these 8 events as of today. With that, I want to wish you the best of luck running more live streams, better live streams. Enjoy the ride, and happy unlearning. Take care. Bye.